Hello everyone, Phoenix61 here with your Legend shenanigans for the day. Today we are in the Carnot. If I'm saying that correctly, it's gotta be close, right? But this ship got a little bit of love with the recent update, and to be honest, it is now kind of worth playing. So before I kind of I couldn't decide what to, how to play with this ship. I had done at least a couple of videos before on it. We see Michelangelo here. We're going to take a nice shot at him. So we got a lot of cruisers in here, so we had AP loaded for him. Previously I played around with secondary builds. I played around with, sort of main battery accuracy builds, and they all kind of meh, right? But now it's gotten a little bit of love with this update, and the secondary range was boosted pretty significantly, and then the consumables, you also now have a secondary battery booster consumable as an option, right? So you can go into your loadout and change that out if you want to, right? I think before it was speed boost, right? You had an engine boost for that slot, and so we got rid of the engine boost and added the secondary battery consumable, right? So we've got secondaries up to 11 kilometers here, which is actually really, really nice with this ship, right? We can go toe-to-toe with the Michelangelos. I think the next game I get into, we end up with a Schroeder, and it's kind of nice to, or Schrouder, right? However you say that, right? A lot of people do secondary battery builds with that. The cheese kill there on the Michelangelo, though we had a nice shot, right? If somebody else hadn't whacked him so good, we might have gotten a good chunk of damage there. And then I'm gonna actually push up, right? Ideally, it'd be nice to go and push into the zone and try and help with that cap there, but I kind of don't want this destroyer to get away, this Ostergalen, right? So I'm going to push up on him, and then, yeah, he ends up firing his guns here, so he's going to end up staying spotted, so we'll take advantage of that. A little bit concerned about the IO out there, could potentially wreck us, but we're about to come up on some land on our right side here, so might be able to get away with it, right? So we'll just keep pushing up. We've got sonar if we need it. I'm just watching the angling of the Ostergalen, right? So if he doesn't, he wasn't turning, broadside to us, so I figured he wasn't dumping torpedoes yet. So, and then I'm going to make since he gets away, right? He doesn't have too much health left, but since he gets away, I'm going to turn in. I don't want to chase down a destroyer that can probably go a little bit faster than me. Then I just waste a bunch of time in the game, right? So I'm going to try and get myself back into the fight. We did get a whole 3 secondary battery hits there. But yeah, we could see several enemy cruisers had pushed through the middle there and are trying to get the push up on the C cap. So I'm going to see if we can get in range there, right? With this, the downside to the secondary battery build here with this ship, right, is the main guns. I think got the range at only 15 or something kilometers, right? So I still can't even hit these guys. There's somebody else playing it. Yeah, 15.8, right? So we got to get that close. And at tier 8, that's kind of sad, right? 15.8 kilometer main battery guns on a cruiser or battleship at tier 8. It's a little rough, right? So I thought for sure I was going to get the cheese kill there, and we just miss out on it. So there's a couple of opportunities here where I could have gotten a crack in here, and this Carnot that we just missed out. We got a fisted metal there, right? We're going to miss out on him. Our secondary is actually doing pretty good on the Ostergalen, right? So we don't get him either. And then here's a Schroeder, right? So we'll just pick on him. You can see we're going to let that German armor, right? We're going to get some bounces there, right? So could potentially switch to HE here. Or just being a little bit closer with a little bit better angle would be nice too. But I kept firing the AP, see how it does. And then we do have to watch out for the IO, right? We are very much so a cruiser, right? When it comes to heavy hitting battleships, you can go down in one foul swoop. So you do have to always keep that in mind. These guys are going to end up bumping into each other, so we miss out on that kill as well, right? So I was like, I feel like I could have had 4 by now, and we're at 1, which was kind of a cheese, right? But anyway, so we'll go and we'll keep pushing up and keep moving into position where I think we can actually be helpful. It doesn't quite look like we're going to be able to get over the rocks here and shoot this Iowa, but I took the shot anyway. I think maybe 1 bullet got through. But we'll keep pushing up. There is another Michelangelo left here, and I think that's what's in this smoke over here. And yep, sure enough, that's a lot of SAP secondary rounds, so that's definitely the Michelangelo. We'll move to the left a little bit, see if we can get out of line of sight. I'm not quite sure if he was the one spotting us, seeing as how he was in smoke there, but Yeah, we go undetected there. Same thing here. I have managed to shoot some more rocks, but we'll keep pushing up and around. We've got secondaries as well, so we will fight, right? And just keep an eye on that Iowa, right? We use our telescoping skill there to see which way his guns are pointed, and he wasn't pointed at us. And then I absolutely terrible spot for me to shoot AP at this Iowa, right? We're gonna everything's gonna bounce off his bow. So the rear turret I aimed a little bit higher and still got bounces, and we do actually get the kill with the secondary. So yeah, if I didn't have secondaries on this, my game would be pretty sad here. So, and I didn't play too many, right? Like a lot of times I like to try and play a whole bunch of games, and get, throw the best ones out there, right? But since it got a boost, and yeah, I played a few games that, last night, and this is how we did, right? So we'll show that the two that I felt were the most entertaining to watch anyway, but these guys are far out, right? It's nice being able to get secondary hits on these cruisers that are 11 kilometers out here. I know that Michelangelo is off to our left as well, so as these guys start moving up, right, I'm just going to keep at least this one in our secondary range. And then there's a very healthy, what is this, Atlantico or whatever here. He's going to push up as well, and I am running will to rebuild, so I kind of figured, all right, let's see what we can do. We've got 2 heals. If we need some fast healing, we'll have will to rebuild plus the heals going if we need them. So yeah, I'm like, all right, let's go super aggressive here. Our team's winning, right? Let's see what this ship can do, right? It does pretty good, if you're bow in, right? If you're watching your angling, it works pretty good. And these guys out here, right? So Wichita, right? He's gonna be HE spamming us, so I don't need to worry too much, right? If he switches to AP, we might be in trouble, but we can give up a little angle for him. And then yeah, secondaries on him, and then we'll use main battery on the mines. And then we're just getting will to rebuild from the battleship in front of us here. And then, like I said, if we get a little bit low, right, we can trigger the heal. We've got 2 of them. So between the will to rebuild and the heal, right, it's going to keep us alive here. We're being a little stupid aggressive here. A little worried about this Michelangelo pumping our, we're broadside to him, right? He's going to get a shot off on us here, I think. So yeah, we've got decent secondaries going. We managed to stay alive. I've got AP loaded for him, and then of course somebody else takes him out, right? So I can't get a kill with for intentionally trying to get kills. It just hasn't been happening. I'm gonna end up getting the mines or whatever was out there too with secondaries here, and I'm not even paying attention to him. Right there we go. Oh, it's the Wichita. He goes down close quarters there. And I was absolutely certain that this Abagi would take us out too, and then this he takes the shot, right? But he did still have us spotted, but we managed to angle enough, and then we're getting smoke screen from this Michelangelo here, right? So he goes around the corner, which was kind of disappointing. I was like, so I'm gonna take the guess that he would keep going and heading towards the C cap, right? Head towards the Charlie cap. So I'm gonna try and do a U-turn here, but he ends up just kind of floating out there, and everybody else is able to shoot him except for me. So yeah, we'll fast forward through the rest of this game here. But yeah, it was not a crazy big hitting damage game, but we did have 4 kills. We got had some fun with the secondaries. So I just kind of wanted to show off that it is kind of it's kind of worth it now, right? So we'll take a peek at the leaderboard, and then I'll go into game number 2, and then I'll go through the commander build and stuff like I normally do. But yeah, we walked away with second place there, and then 152,000 in silver. So another thing here too, right? That we've got some big heavy hitting battleships in here. There's a Yamato out there that just gets spotted. We get spotted here, so we know there's a destroyer probably approaching the Alpha Cap here on the enemy team. So I want to try and keep pushing up. I was real nervous that Yamato would be able to get a shot off on us, but he either wasn't paying attention to us, or yeah, here come the bullets from. I can see him out of the corner of my eye here, right? So I was trying to just move as close to the land here as I could, and sure enough, it saved us there. And then the other one went over top. But yeah, I get spotted again in this Montana. We were lucky there again that he wasn't looking this way. I just totally could have been probably dead there, right? There was potential there. But yeah, now here we've got a Schroeder, and now granted we're not spotted, which is, you know, this is ideal, right? We get picked up here, right? So I'm guessing right through that crack is where the destroyer is. But we are getting like really decent like amount of secondary hits on that Schroeder. It's kind of nice to be able to give him a taste of his own medicine for once. So it's a ship I don't have, and so I'm always like, oh, I should have got that ship when I could have, you know. But anyway, but there's plenty of other, you know, secondary battery, you know, ships out there that are plenty fun, right? Somebody whaps him pretty good, but we are getting decent, you know, a little bit of damage here and there, and then we triggered some fires as well. And then we did go undetected again here, so we'll take advantage. And he's looking at somebody else, so we'll just, yeah, we'll take advantage of this. Do have to keep in mind that Yamato is still out there, right? So that's kind of my biggest concern. That's why I'm not... Otherwise, I would turn, you know, I would turn in more so we could get these front guns on him, but I'd just, like, I don't want to give up angle to that Yamato, right? So we use a heal here, get a little bit of health back. Since I think we've got this build out, we have got 3 heals, so try and, you know, like, time them throughout the game if you can. Still don't know where their destroyer is, but all damage con. We were going in and out of being spotted, so I'm guessing he's not close to me, so I damage con the fire. And then, yeah, sure enough, we go undetected again here. But yeah, you notice I'm keeping my distance from the Yamato, and I'm paying attention to where the Montana is, right? Like, that's our key here to surviving. We've got, we're up 2 ships now. I want to be able to push in and help out here. I'm going to be a little bit patient, though. Kind of like, almost somewhat cornered myself, right? Like, there's a destroyer, I don't even know which one it is, up here somewhere. Right, Elbing, I think it ends up being the Elbing. Yeah, because the Cabo was on the other side of the map here. Right, the Cabo we probably would have spotted at some point, right? Got pretty bad concealment. So I'm just keeping an eye on this Montana, right? I'm looking at see what he's going to do. And for some reason he decides to go broadside to my battleships that are in the back. So we'll take our shots, but he takes a good chunk from the battleships. And then I was going, all right, we'll push up. We need to get within 11 kilometers for the secondaries to trigger, and then the GK finishes them off, right? So we'll give them a nice work. But yeah, another like game where I was like, all right, like we're having a good game, we're having fun with the ship, but I'm just like kind of missing out on scoring. So we'll push up, see if we can't help cap this zone. Might be able to get in range of this Yamato. Like I said, with this build, the way I've got it, the main battery range is kind of terrible. I'll move up a little bit more here so we can get behind, like, right, break line of sight with him, so that when we shoot our guns, they'll go over the little ridge here, and then we won't get spotted, right? So we'll stay undetected here. And did a decent chunk of damage there. Keep pushing up, and we'll still starting to forget that there was even a destroyer over here at this point. But we'll continue to pick on the Yamato here while we're getting free shots undetected. There is that Alaska. He's been hanging out behind that island the whole game as well. Continue to lob some HE at Yamato up here. And then there's torpedoes, so we know the Elbing's over here somewhere there. Sure enough, there he is. So we'll actually push up on him, right? We are the tool for the job to track down said destroyer. We just have to keep an eye on our angling from this Yamato and potentially that Alaska as well. We'll trigger the sonar. I think sonar range for this ship's like 4.7 or 4.4 or something like that, right? So I'll hold off on firing the guns because we know we've got smoke firing penalty. I'm trying to sneak up on this destroyer. Yamato and Schroeder run into each other, so there's literally just 3 ships left, 2 of which are right here in front of me. So we'll be super, super aggressive. You do kind of want to watch your angling with versus an Elbing, right? Like, as a cruiser, right, they can they can pump your sidewall, right? Your broadside's pretty good. So we'll try it and split them because he's going to show up just off to our starboard side here, right? Just off our bow, right? There he is. We'll prioritize secondary batteries on him. Along with the main batteries. Don't want him to get away. So we'll keep firing at him. And I probably should have, or like hindsight is 2020 here, but yeah, the Alaska is going to rip us pretty good here. Because I just yeah, like we're a little too angled for him. I probably should have given up more angle to the L-beam versus the Alaska, but wanted to get rid of the L-beam. We've got enough health to spare, so it wasn't too big of a deal. Finish him off, and then we will miss out on the kill for the Alaska as well. And then I think somebody finishes off this last cruiser up here as well, right? So, yeah, like I said, like, I wanted to get a couple of games out there. I played a few, just a handful of games. And yeah, so like, I'll continue to play around with it. There's a couple other things I want to do this week, a couple other ships I want to try and get a Carl Johan game, since that one's out there in the store as well. But yeah, it was kind of nice. It's nice having some, a little bit of value to this ship. I had, like I said, I'd played with it previously and wanted to like it and just couldn't get it, right? Like, it's just, I'm sure my win percentage is just terrible on it, right? Not the best score there, down closer to the bottom of the leaderboard, right? But we played our part, right? So we had a positive impact on the game. Walked away with a little bit of silver there. Like I said, yeah, like I was like, I just like played a handful of games, grabbed a couple that were somewhat entertaining and threw them out here for us to take a look at, right? So, but yeah, this is full secondary build, right? So secondary mod, propulsion mod, concealment mod, and then secondary battery mod 3. Lady of the Cold is a Geist. I am using Michael Latour, right? If I'm sure I'm not saying that name right, but he's got a base trait for more secondary shell damage, right? So just depending on your target, you may or may not actually trigger damage, but you always trigger fires, right? And then yeah, for Franz von Hipper is your must for inspiration. The thing I like about this is you get Porcupine and Properly Meticulous in this third row here. Normally Properly Meticulous is in the fourth row, so you get to kind of cheese and also pick Master Mechanic with this particular commander, right? So it's nice to have him. He is a paid commander from, I don't know, sometime this past year, right? So if you don't have him, I think the better choice for a brawler commander, I think I was using this person here, also a commander Geist on this, so we'll take a look and see who it actually is, right? So yeah, Emil Japrat, right? So he's your normal free-to-play commander. You could go pick him up in the store for commander XP, but he's going to also have Porcupine and Properly Meticulous. Like I said, just Properly Meticulous on that fourth, that last row there. So yeah, you do you. That's my recommendation. This is actually kind of a fun ship to play now. I'm sure it'll lose its, appeal after a while and kind of go back to normal, right? But I saw several people out there playing with it, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. Carnot got a buff to secondary range, so, yeah. You do you guys, right? Make sure you're following the channel. I do appreciate new subscribers. I'm kind of a small channel still, so I do notice 1 or 2 new people showing up. We occasionally live stream as well, so if you're interested in that, hit the bell, right? Get notifications for the channel, because I don't have a set schedule. I kind of play whenever I've got time, and it's usually evenings. I am Central Time US, so yeah, so keep an eye out for me there. I try to do Legends videos every day, so if you're following, we'll see you guys tomorrow.